Welcome to Sonderlings, integrating Troika system. Let the bio ride begin.
Hey folks, welcome back to Sonderlings, and as per the usual, I'm joined by Carly, DB, and Jacob. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, you, Jacob. Every week you do this to me, and every week
Carly
it
did it
gets
too.
less funny.
Good.
Carly
I
did
joined
it.
I thought.
Yeah,
I
you
think
just
it's funny.
drowned her out.
Starting a mutiny.
So last week, some interesting stuff happened, and you actually seem to have gained some minor successes in your journey towards getting these ruffians out of the way. And then Nimbus
I died.
and Pith turned Vigor into meat jello. And
Intentionally.
My final
and then
form.
you had to eat the hourglass mushroom and start everything over again. And so we are back at the top. So you are about 20 paces away from Boston. You have just entered the original clearing you showed up in this mushroom grove. The pink mist is dissipating. And as Pith and Nimbus, as you look around, you realize Vigor's still a blob. It seems that the effects of the oops table may sort of carry further past this magical time rewind thing. If you remember, it was for 3 hours. So
Right.
you've got about 2 hours and 50 minutes left of blob time, and that's where you are. So you see Boston looking shocked, not that far away from you, and I want to know what's going through everybody's head. What are we thinking about? Like, how are we processing the events that just happened?
Well, I can tell you as the puddle character that Vigor is it's like his vision is they're two floating things that are just buoys on top of his blobbish form, and his vision shifts and he's looking up at the giant mushrooms, the bottoms of their caps, and he's kind of swirling around and he sees Pith over there. Different angle for sure. Usually looking down on both of my companions. Now I'm seeing their underside, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this isn't convenient. And so I shout over, who is going to pick me up? I will not stand, well, I won't puddle here and take this from you two. Someone hoist me.
I mean, I could maybe pick you up and tie your arms around my neck like one of the frat boys of the varsity. You know, like the cardigans.
Boy? Are they warriors?
Well, let's just cross that bridge. Can you? I'm glad you can talk. Okay, you've got a little gargle going on, but that's cool.
Well, it's tougher, sure. But I won't stand here. I won't puddle here silently. So, if you wouldn't mind, be a gent. And my little arms go hoist me.
I glance over and kind of swat one of your hands away. Look a little disgusted. I don't know, Vigo. You got a lot of puddle happening, and that's a lot more puddle than I necessarily want to be touching. And then you do hear him start to mumble a little bit under his breath that he's surprised he wasn't more interested in the moisture, though. He's starting to kind of rub his temples. And for, to answer your initial question, how am I feeling as a character? Inside of Pith's brain is pretty jarbled. He's coming to terms with the fact that he's probably not going to be able to scatter that group another time. He's also not sure, which is also a, out of game question, if his luck is still up or if it's where it was before time rewound, because it's about half of my normal level. of luck. Glancing
So-
over at his pal, he's a little afraid to do any more spell casting, and obviously, his one real skill that isn't combat, after all of that studying in Young Guardy, is etiquette, and that didn't go so hot the first go around. So he's having a rough time processing the facts right now.
So mechanically, I'm pretty sure I said this the last time you rewound, and if I didn't make that clear, and I know it's been a
Thanks for
while, I'm just
forgetting.
saying, like, for the
Yeah.
listeners, if I didn't make that clear,
Yeah.
I'm making it clear now. All of your stats are going to reset.
Okay.
So you will be back at your normal stamina and luck, all of that stuff. That is why Vigor still being a puddle is weird.
Right.
It seems like there's something going on here. The other thing that I mentioned is you've all already done the things that you've done. Like, you have full memory of these actions.
Mm.
And so successful actions, if you want to just repeat the same action, you can test luck to do that instead of actually, like, you can choose to either try to do the thing again or test your luck to do the thing again. So, like, turning the leader into a frog again, you can just save your luck up and then scurry over there and turn him into a frog again because you remember how you did it, and testing luck is going to kind of gauge, like, the level to which you remember it. And if you do remember it, I think that's a little easier way to do it than having
Yeah,
to
I think that's
roll
I think that's a
skill.
smart solution.
Um,
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
And so anything that you've already done, so I want you to talk amongst yourselves and do all that stuff. Process this as characters and kind of figure out what you're doing next. But there are some things that seem to have worked for you, and to save the listeners having to just listen to the same part of the campaign again, we can just kind of fast track to those points. Be like, you know what? This worked. Like, scattering the camp worked for us. Let's do that. And then you can try a different approach once you get to the camp, or you can try the same thing. That's kind of neither here nor there, but we're going to take it as, like, bigger chunks of the narrative,
Mhm.
and then
Nice,
you can
okay.
break those chunks to smaller pieces.
Okay.
So you could just say, we want to just take the camp again, and I'm going to have all of you test your luck. And I remember a couple of you got hit last time, so I'm probably just going to roll a couple of d6 and see how much damage we spread around the party. So that's sort of just shorthand when it comes to the mechanics of the narrative that we've already been through.
Okay.
But
I
that
like it.
still leaves you here, mildly traumatized, and facing Bosson, who looks very concerned at the puddle and looks up at the two of you. Welcome. You don't look like champions that I'm
No.
aware of.
We keep
Excuse
getting
the way they
sick.
look.
You would, yeah.
I'm trying at this point, I'm trying to pick Vigor up, and it's kind of like picking up a trash bag full of water. Like, it's not really, you kind of just, I'm trying to get,
Ew.
I'm glancing back in utter disgust.
Whoa, no, don't drop me now. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to
Like, at
I
touch
some
feel
that.
like you
point,
could
our
just,
cheek-
like, dude, you should just tie his arms and legs around, like, a long stick, like a bindle, so you could just carry him over your shoulder.
I'm imagining I finally get him, like, draped over my shoulders and kind of get his weight centered where he's just kind of hanging.
The
Hanging like this.
worst cloak ever.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
super sassy.
Yeah.
The worst cape that you've ever worn.
I feel like a flesh suit of armor. I've got your
Yes.
back, Nimby. I've got your back. See what I did? I've got your back.
I don't like it.
In exasperation, I approach Boston. And I put two of my four hands, two are still like rubbing my temples, but I put my other two hands on Boston's spore-like shoulders, I guess.
Oh, what? Wait, what? No. What do you? I don't know you. Don't touch me.
I put my hands up in further exasperation. Boston, listen. We've met before. You can call us failed champions if you'd like, but apparently we're the ones that got sent here to do your stupid little task and save your whole bog situation. I glance around at the massive mushroom forest before us, and kind of behind him, I guess in the direction that I know the encampment is, and I say, "You've got some real problems going on here. I know they're about to be felling some of these huge mushrooms that you've got, some old growth. We're here to try to help. We got pretty far along, and then I glance over at the puddle that is around my other companion's shoulders."
She is still learning magic, apparently. And I just do a little flibble with my arms.
I give a thumbs up.
What is a no? What is a flibble?
So
I know
flibble
what a
is
flibble is.
so you've seen a stingray on the ocean floor, and when it goes to flutter about, it is a flibble on each
It's a
side.
flibble. Yeah.
You know,
It's like a dribble. It's like a
it's
like
a
a
flutter,
flutter.
and a dribble. You know,
There
you're
you go.
touching the ground a little
Interesting.
bit, but you're also
a little flibble.
and so the edges
didn't-
of my curtainy self flib. We do a proper
Sometimes
flibble.
you gotta flibble it just a little bit. You know?
I am. Whatever.
Boston,
So-
don't let this intimidate you. These are just my boneless arms fluttering
So-
about.
I take it that you've been here. You did not have success. I assume you ate a mushroom.
Mm,
Um,
Couple
eventually.
at this point, yes.
yes. Oh, a couple. We thought that you'd be slightly more competent than that.
Oh well, then you go do it. That's great. Do we already know everything he knows?
Put me on his
Um,
shoulders. I shall
yes.
venture with you, Boston.
All right. Here's another hourglass mushroom. And they hold it out to whomever is going to grab it this time.
I
I
flipped
think
for it.
Vigor should have it because the other
Yeah,
two of
I
you have
have
already had
two
it.
of my forearms crossed at this point out of irritation that he wouldn't let me approach him in a friendly manner.
Well, he doesn't
I'm
know
gonna-
you.
I lived my whole life on somebody's head, okay? I don't understand boundaries, clearly.
I'm like,
Clearly.
so I take it. So I take it and I say, "All right, Vigor, you drew the short straw because you can't fight back." And I say, I'm gonna put it in your this pocket. I don't know where it is on you, but you feel that?
Oh, yes. I can feel everything. It is uncomfortable.
So, look, I'd really rather not be dealing with whatever's happened here. So, that direction is the baddies. Please help us nicely. But
Yeah, cool beans.
This cape thing is exhausting.
I
Mm.
have
Listen, we think it's
I have a
exhausting too.
question
If you
for
got
you.
some sort of a solution for us, if you want to get his bones back in his little meat sack, that would be absolutely lovely. We would not have to hear him complain or wear him about your mushroom grove as we solve your apparent problem. I also
I'm-
don't understand what all this sass is about, sir. You know, we are here trying to help you, help your people, save your land, and all we ever get from you is all this attitude.
Well, let's think. Oh, I remember.
there we go again.
A complete stranger walked up to me and tried to put their hands on my person, and then was irate when I was objecting to it. So yes, I might be slightly testy by your boundary issues, young sir.
That just
Oh, I'm
happened
sorry.
to me.
It's not like a pink cloud abducted all of us and dropped us into your grove.
You-
Where the boundaries
That's not
there,
my
sir?
fault. I didn't do that.
We
I'm just
cannot
here to
let this
greet you.
divide us. Listen,
Well, you're the one that's here every single time when we wake back up in this pink cloud situation, so I don't exactly understand how you're not
No,
connected.
there's not every single time. This is the first time for me.
Maybe
it's
for
not
you,
like-
maybe for this incidence of you, but we have definitely met you plenty of times, boss.
You're almost-
and you're
you're
always
almost-
like this.
you're almost enough to make me miss Bob.
Who is Bob?
Oh, you don't know old Bobble? He hangs out in the mushroom grove. The little guy.
I'd imagine that he'd prefer to be called Bob and not Bobble.
Mm,
But,
you know him, don't
you
you?
know.
Yes,
Feel
they're
like you know him.
friends for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
I can tell.
So without further ado, I'm just gonna like move you along from Boston.
Word.
This is going nowhere.
I think we should go
I
get
think
Bob.
it's going great places. Yeah, I want to head towards Bob.
Wait,
Okay.
I had a question for the whole thing was I had a question for Boston.
Sorry.
Well, grab him as he's walking away.
Boston, wait!
You just
Before
ask
we
him next
go.
time.
Before we go, I have a question about this forest here.
You can ask me next time.
No!
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm being like, slowly like sauntered away. No, Boston,
Your voice is kind of modulating because you're swinging a little bit as I walk.
What's your question?
Is there a mighty beast in this jungle? Is there a creature that lurks its foresty floor and is a true terror? Something we could turn to our advantage. And as much as I can grasp my boneless palm, which I imagine are
You
just
can
all
flibble about palm.
all of the fingers just flibbling a bit. I do it in a very like dramatic gesture of like, and
Keep-
we shall turn this beast to our advantage.
Whoa, hey, keep tickling me like that. I'm gonna drop you. Okay.
Oops. Sorry, forgot that was your function.
There, this is a peaceful
boundaries,
grove.
sir. Apparently, everybody's got them.
This is a peaceful grove. There are no such abominations or aberrations here. This is a very quaint and tidy grove when there aren't ruffians trying to take our way of life from us. So I'd appreciate it, if you could expediently deal with them with all the politeness I can muster.
Mm.
Probably
Some
need
of
like
you-
3 hours. I'm
Yep.
thinking good 3 hours would get me boned again.
Man, it's hard to trap
Um,
bad guys in a place that's boring.
Go away.
I saunter off in the direction of where we know Bob was.
And I say,
Yeah, we
Giddy
do
up.
that. Oh.
I feel like I'm gonna
Alright,
get dropped
so-
more than once in this episode.
Probably.
Oh, giddy up,
Um,
was it? Was it? Whoops. Sorry, you slipped.
So you are heading in the direction that you know Bob is going to be heading in. If you remember, you had gone off and kind of doddered about a bit before Bob showed up last time. So you know where Bob's going, and you have the opportunity to kind of get set up and wait for Bob. And I don't know how you want to handle it, but you do have a little bit of time. Not much, but probably about 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Well, I think we could just probably, wake him up gently this time. Ask him. He doesn't really like his work crew, so.
Yeah, I mean,
We could
I
turn
guess
him
you
in.
can't really nap any more dwarves in this form. You could help one nap, perhaps, lay on top of him like a little wet blanket. I give you the up and
Right.
down.
Blanket. Ooh. You wait till I have bones again, Missy.
I'm not going to say it. It's a brilliant idea, but I'm not going to say it because I want to see if any of you come up with it. So there.
Well,
Yes.
Him being a wet blanket.
No, don't worry about it.
We could
Keep going.
snare Bob with Vigor. Is that it?
cast me like a net.
That's a really
Oh.
good idea. I just see this mental image of like wrist and ankle, like how you like airplane kids around, but Vigor does that like wet flap, and it looks just kind of like a flying squirrel. Just, I don't like it.
Okay, one thing too, I feel like we all need to try this. All right. I noticed you guys were really rude to Bob. I did my best, but you guys were pretty rude. So maybe if you guys just kind of were a little bit more polite this time and like just you, because he obviously likes just being called Bob, So maybe like a Mr. Bob or just Bob. But let's try like being super, super nice to him. He seems kind of sensitive and see if he can like toss us more information. I was just kidding. I know I was being a jerk to him too. I wasn't really being a jerk. I just was using names other than. Anyway.
I mean, I'm still not convinced his real name is Bob, to be totally honest with you. I say we keep trying, but if you think it's disrespectful, I'm fine to go in with the softer approach. I mean, admittedly, I don't think we need to go the nudity and the mud route again, nor the kidnapping and pretending to be murderous.
This
Vigor,
is
not
true.
that you could do that anymore, Vigor, without your bones. But perhaps in one of those pockets, Nimby, you might have a pencil and a scrap of paper. We could write a little note and leave it in his tiny mushroom alcove, offer him an escape from the encampment. We know he
That's,
doesn't want to stay there.
I shall do my best to
I mean,
respect Bob.
I feel like I love the note idea. It's definitely the least intrusive one that we've had, but I also don't feel like we have really time for that. So maybe like a soft hand over the mouth and just like, "Hey, we're your friends. We're stuck in a time warp. We know your name is Bob and that you're a friend. We're gonna take care of you." And then maybe he won't scream. He doesn't really seem like a screamer though. I don't know.
I mean, we got the time. We got at least what 5 to 10 minutes. If you got some paper real fast, we could scratch something out. I mean, I assume he
Sure.
speaks some sort of general common tongue. We've spoken to him in person. I assume he can read.
It's been about
Uh,
5 minutes already.
Okay. I'm assuming are we close to where the little mushroom bed is? Okay. So yeah, it wouldn't take long to write a note though. So yeah. So anyways, I'm still pushing for writing a note. I think we have enough time for it, and I think that it's a little bit like we at least have the opportunity for him to maybe read it and then just come out of the mushroom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
before we, if that doesn't work, then yeah, absolutely, cover his mouth. Dwarf
Oh,
nap him again.
hey. Oh my gosh. Vigor, can you cast Assume Shape?
You, well, usually I have a hand to cast that, and
He'll just stop tickling me.
wondering. Well, sorry, we're just you and I are very close right now. I can't quite tell if this is good enough to assume shape. What? Probably not.
They can't fight or cast spells and can only very slowly ooze about as a gelatinous blob of flesh, but they're generally unfazed.
Okay,
Get
Sorry.
up.
fine.
That would have been like that was an amazing idea. And if the
Yeah.
book's text, like literally, if it hadn't specifically said that, I was gonna let it go.
They turned me into, or I turned myself into the note. I'm like a book.
Um,
So you
Okay,
hear
well-
footsteps coming up the path.
Oh, shh.
And it
duck and cover.
sounds exactly like last time. Sounds like one smallish creature heading towards all of you. Like last time, they're paying more attention to the camp direction than they are to your direction. And so they just get up towards the mushroom and climb up on top of it and start sawing logs.
Do you want me to? Can I roll for a pen and notepad in cahoots with you? Do I have to roll like for just the convenience of it, or?
You have to test luck to see if you happen to have the item that you need in your
Yeah.
voluminous robes.
Yes,
The
my luminous,
robes.
voluminous robes.
Need to make that a t-shirt.
We should
All right,
absolutely
so
make a voluminous robes t-shirt.
Yes, a luminous, voluminous. All right, so my luck is 10.
Okay. Roll those 2d6.
I didn't get it. I rolled 11.
Okay, so you do not happen to have what you need. Did you subtract
just
one
out of
from your
ink.
luck?
I have now.
Thank you. You sound so upset about that.
The fight at the end of the last
Fine,
episode,
Dad.
I just like tanked the fight. Like nothing I did worked, and now my luck isn't. I don't think I've missed a luck roll yet. That's fine. It's fine.
I
There,
see that you're
there,
having a hard
Nimby.
time with whatever you're trying, and I I
Yeah,
kind
you're
of try
you're
to
like
pat your back and forget that you're wearing a wet blanket on it.
Ooh,
Goals.
yeah,
risky.
you're rummaging around in your robes, and it's not that it's not there. It's just you can't find it. Like you have
Okay.
too many pockets, and you don't know what's in which pockets, and it's starting to get a little bit loud as you're rummaging in your pockets, and discretion becomes the better option for you. So you decide not to make too much noise, and
Okay.
just dump the contents of your pockets out. Um, so how are we going about things?
How about I just call him, throw a rock at him, and be like, Bob, we're your friends. Promise. We hate those guys too, or something. Like, who's Pith? You're not too scary. I feel like either one of us, like especially our friend, the leopard slug, would like not go over well at all. But
I
like,
mean,
just go up there and be like really chill, you know.
I
It'll be
won
alright.
him over last time.
You did. You did. You literally like.
I kind of straighten my collar a little bit. Look myself up and down, kind of try to slick my hair back and make sure I look decent. And as I
Ooh.
stand up in a very professional, kind of lawyer-like, well-postured stance, I say, Nimby, you may have a point. Your friends here has a bit of etiquette training. Perhaps I could be the one to approach old Bob, as we like to call him.
Mm.
I give a little wink at the two of you, and I start to quietly saunter over towards the mushroom bed thing.
All right, Bob's asleep, so uh, I'm not gonna make you like really go for stealth. Like, it's not that hard to sneak up on a sleeping, poorly made dwarf when the floor of this mushroom forest is either just a ton of mycelium or very loamy. Like it's a very cushioned uh, surface to walk on. So you're able to get right up to the mushroom stalk. Remember, it's about 8 feet high.
Right.
So he had climbed up on top, and he's laying on top of the cap.
Okay. So I do not want to climb. I've been told multiple times since reawakening that perhaps I should work on my boundaries. And without Quith here to steer me, I know sometimes I don't always do the right thing. So I think to myself, with the etiquette training that I suddenly have found myself having memories of, I should be a little bit more cautious. And I attempt to kind of knock on or shake like the base of the mushroom a little bit, and I whisper, um, Bob, Bob, excuse me, can I have just a moment of your time?
We'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Even
Um,
here, even here.
and you hear a little bit of a rustle from up top. Go away.
Bob, I'm here to help get you out of here. I know you don't want to be in that camp anymore.
How do you know my name?
We've met. There's some mushrooms here that help rewind time. We were on a whole mission together.
Oh, the hourglass mushrooms?
Yeah, the ones that have the hourglass on it. I always forget what they're called. The hourglass ones.
Oh, then you see him like kind of like pop his head like over the edge of the mushroom and look down at you. Um,
I give him a little curtsy.
what are you proposing?
Well, you see, we're here on some sort of a mission to get that group out of here. And we actually got sent here by the Versity, a prestigious school. It can teach you the wonders of being independent out in the multiverse, and definitely get you out of this encampment. I got two buddies. We're well trained. We're just here to try to help the bog. So, if you're down, we'd love to join forces. And I pull out a granola
Um,
bar and kind of like offer it as like a snack. You hungry?
I I'm not a pet. Um, that's a weird way to try to bribe me.
I I apologize. You see, I spent a long time as a
You-
pet myself. Some might
you-
say.
Oh no,
It's you know, it's how I'm used to showing, that I have good intentions.
Oh no, you implied that I would go to a university and then treated me like a pet by offering me a snack. That is very odd. I can't say that I'm not amenable to the idea. I hate those people, and I would like to see them have nothing but pain caused to them. Um, also
Do you want one
the
of our cards? It has
You
all the
have a
information for the school.
very horrible habit of interrupting me when I'm talking. This relationship is already souring. Um, I would. Are the cards basically like a free ride? Like, are they like a full tuition payment for the varsity?
Um, Pith has a quick moment where he looks to the side, and he honestly does not recall. He was on someone's head at the time and really wasn't signing up for any of that stuff. And then looks back with the most serious of expressions. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
I believe we might be able to work something out, but you've spoken in the plural. Who are your companions? And I need to meet them so that I'm sure they're not any undesirables.
I kind
I
of look
hate
at
this
this man
voice
who is.
so much.
I also love that this man, Pith is actively thinking this as well. I love that this dwarf is sleeping on a mushroom cap, completely disregarding his duties, working with a bunch of unsavories, and he's like, I have to make sure that whoever you're traveling with is of the
No,
best
he's
character.
he's not working with them. He's been press
I
ganged
know,
into this.
I know.
Like,
But as far as like he knows that I know at this point, um, but
Can
I kind of I offer him one of my hands as I'm still kind of like kneeling on the ground from a bit of a curtsy, and I point back with another arm in the direction of my two companions where I left them before I moseyed over this direction. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
she's pointing at us.
I've, I'm here with two of my friends. One of them unfortunately just befell a horrible tragedy. We're trying to get him off this place as well and get him some help. Um, Apparently also time can fix it, but you know how time works at this place. I mean,
I wave and then wave Vigor's hand.
you flipper it.
Yeah, I flibble. It flibbles a little bit.
Does this look natural? You think that
Oh yeah.
it looks good?
oh
Okay.
God, oh
Yeah.
God, what is that?
Uh-oh, I think he's scared of you, Nimby. Oh no. Oh, you probably disgust him. Oh.
Well, you see, yeah, one of my buddies, unfortunately, had some bad side effects from some magic being cast in his general vicinity. You know how those things work out here. It's always a kind of a roll of the dice.
All right. So we intro.
That's it. That's the episode.
No,
I
we
quit.
let's go. Like
I'm
we
out.
intro to Bob. Like, wait. Do we just make a
Roll the
dice rolling joke?
Is that one?
No, that's all
That's
three.
fine.
That's the episode.
Actually, it's a D6. You have to roll for it.
Let's check. That's all three, folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I rolled it. Them's the rules. All right, so I assume the two of you have been moving over towards this mushroom.
That's up to him.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we kind of scuttle across, flibble across the trail a little bit there. And I feel like I was
Why
crouch
are you
sneaking.
scuttling with this monstrosity on your back? Like this
Well, because I didn't want anybody to like
aberration.
poke.
Like his
I wanted-
turtle shell, he's on all fours.
I didn't want anybody to poke their head over the
Well, please,
ridge.
like,
that
please
leads.
don't let them be unsavory, and we have one person scuttling as another flibbles about on his back. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
real great team, looking top notch.
Also,
Yeah.
also, you are so proper looking. You know, it's like you've got like your lawyer garb, your
Yeah.
good posture, and then it's like, of course, my two companions are upstanding citizens. Look back,
Looking down,
scuttle crabbing across. While I just like wave in the wind.
looking
Like,
backwards like a hunted rabbit, with this human, and I'm dragging his arms and legs on the
also, you
ground, trying to
jingle.
stay low. Yeah.
You you're like Jingle Bells. You know, you've got your staff with you, or your
Oh,
pockets
I
full of
didn't hand my
clinking stuff.
staff off this time.
No, you did not.
Interesting.
Yeah. That is terrifying. I thought you said that they weren't undesirable. That looks like something from like a monster's nightmares.
So I cup a hand over my mouth and I go, listen, Bob, I really need you to just do me a solid and help me out. I also don't really want to be traveling with that wet blanket over there. Maybe the two of us can help each other. You know, they're useful sometimes, and the one that's scuttling's real sweet.
So what did you say that you wanted to do to the ruffians?
Well, I personally recommend a clever ruse, but that's just my thoughts on it.
Okay. You are endearing yourself to me, sir.
How's that? How's that? How's that?
Well, I she told me that you'd already met me.
Oh,
So
right.
I'd
It's
imagine that I probably said something about a clever ruse because I do enjoy them.
mm,
So
you
I
do.
see what you're doing. I'm not mad at it. I do like a ruse. So what is your plan exactly for these ruffians?
Okay, so can we just fast forward a quick download of what we did last time?
So last time, basically at this point, when all three of you were with Bob, uh, at that
I
point,
was
what had
naked.
already happened is Pith had already sneaked off and frogified the leader, and they had split into three parties. You had 6 going east, 4 going west, and 3 staying in the camp.
Mm.
And then the next thing that happened is all 4 of you went to the camp. Vigor turned himself into a gem. Bob carried the gem into the camp. Vigor cast like that flash or blinding thing and blinded all of them. And then you all stood around and talked about how you were going to deal with them where they could hear you. And so they tried to fight back when you tried to deal with them. And so you thunderclapped them and deafened them.
I did that.
And then you all tied them up, threw them in an outhouse, and then Pith decided to sick their slake on them and let them eat them.
It was complicated.
And then
It
after
didn't
that,
feel complicated while we were doing it.
right after that, you all you jabbed at Bob a little bit, and they decided to leave your company and went elsewhere. And then the three of you went off towards. Oh yeah, that's right. You were in the camp. You were burying everything, and the 4 goblins from the west were coming back to the camp, and you fought them. Vigor lit a tent on fire. Blah blah blah. Nimbus died. Pith turned Vigor into a blob.
Well, obviously, the end there we're not trying to repeat. I think you could probably you can.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I
I
just
feel
wanted to make sure all of you knew exactly where you stood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might time out well because I need more time to get, grow my bones as a healthy growing boy. And that might line up. I'd be curious to see how the goblins interact with the work camp. Like, do they engage on them? Do they steal something and people have to go chasing them off? And
No,
we
the
have to
goblins
wait.
are part of the work crew.
Oh, they are? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that they were just.
No, they were the group of 4 that ran to the west.
Yeah.
That does line up with the numbers. It does line
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's almost like it's all part of the plan.
Well,
I feel like in the middle of
goblins are people too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like in the middle of everybody talking to Bob, Vigor just goes, "Oh."
Oh, that's nice. The poor
They were
goblins.
the work.
The I know how they'll interact with themselves. That's okay. Well,
I thought your bones were missing, not your brain, Vigor. Wow.
oh, pick on a man while he's a blanket. I see how it is. Woe is me.
All right, all right. What's the plan? What's the plan? We're gonna go check them
Uh,
out, see what they're doing. Get like, can I break a twig? I don't
So
know.
yeah,
what you can
I
do
mean,
is you can just state that like you're gonna break off and try to go turn him into a frog again. All right, so basically you can choose to just declare like, hey, this thing that already happened, we're gonna try it again and roll luck to see if you get it to happen. And if the luck check doesn't pass, that will indicate if we're gonna role play it out or not. That's
Mhm.
kind of our shorthand. But you
Okay.
do have to do it as close to exactly how it happened last time as possible. So that means Pith would have to go out there alone and try to do this alone while the three of you kind of hold back.
so yeah, I definitely want to try to do the splitting of the camp. I think that's definitely needs to occur.
Mhm.
I also think we should like I'm down to get us basically back to the point where we've taken out the camp and we're like now in the camp and we're starting to decide like to dig the holes and do whatever. Like basically getting us through that first like wave of people and putting them in the outhouse and stuff. I'm down to get us through that because I think at least then we have a chunk of them dealt with. You know what I mean? I don't know how everybody
Mhm.
feels about that though.
For time, I want to say yes, but for like cleanliness of operation, I would love to give it another shot and see if we could like kind of riff off what we did before and like clean it up a little bit. But I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean,
So what I would like to do is you turn the captain into a frog. He gets squished. The thing scatters. We do the same gem, and then when we have the guys tied up, we use them as bait for the next group because we know the four are coming back. So if they see their companions tied up and those tied up companions can't talk or think that we left, those four will come over and maybe we can have a booby trap. So when they go to untie their people or something, then
Classic move. I
like
like
that.
it.
just saying there's always a bigger fish, okay? So we use one for the other.
That does sound like a clever ruse. I'll tell you what.
It does.
Is it a clever ruse?
So Pith,
Hey,
give
I
me
feel like maybe
a
that's still mock Bob. We love it.
yeah, that was real mean. Pith, give me a luck roll.
So an 11, and I have a luck of
13.
13.
Yeah, so you're basically at the point where the camp has split. There are 3 in camp. There's 6 off to the east, 4 off to the west. I'm just going to go ahead and fast track it. You signal back to the rest of the party. They are able to sneak up to basically like kind of the edge of the camp. So all of you are at the edge of the camp. Vigor, you said that you wanted to go ahead and do the whole gemstone thing and have Bob take you in. So here's what I'm going to do.
Wait,
I am
you can't do the gemstone thing because you're not able to cast spells.
right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So how
Nimbus,
much time?
Oh no.
Nimbus, you have assumed shape, don't you?
Oh no,
Oh yeah.
I do.
But you don't have a blinding spell. But you
He
can
has
try
that
it.
thunder
But I've
spell.
got Thunderclap.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
There
would
you
be pretty
go.
effective.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see here. Undo, assume shape, thunder, cockroach. I haven't tried that one.
Weird grocery list, but okay.
Yeah, cockroach is the
Yeah,
one
okay.
that turned the leader into a frog.
That's the one that
That's what
Pith
Pith
used.
used.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay,
So
yeah,
yeah,
so
you
let's
can
try.
actually try to do all of this, Nimbus.
Okay.
Is that a luck
So you
roll?
want to, is that a luck roll or you
No,
want to play it out?
that is not a luck
Okay.
roll because this is not the
Listen,
same
y'all
way
can
you did it
dream.
last time.
Okay.
Darn it,
You
you
can have
caught
wrong
us.
dreams. You are allowed to have them.
Nightmares.
I am
Nightmares.
dreaming of the General So's chicken I have in my fridge right now.
That sounds really
Ooh.
good. So
Yeah.
I
My
did bring
local
my normal
grocery
snack.
store has like one of those like hot food bars and they
Yeah.
always have General So's chicken and it's only like $7 a pound.
Oh,
So
that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead and roll to assume shape as a gemstone. NIMBY.
Okay, I did it. I rolled a
Yeah.
3, and I've got a 7 for assume shape.
Yes. Pay your stamina.
What is the stamina on that?
4. It's big.
4.
Is it 4?
It's, yeah, it's
What
big.
have you done to me?
You've
You can
turned yourself
immediately
into
eat
a
a provision
pretty
if you want
gem.
to.
Y'all trying to kill me? Not as a diamond, I can't.
That's a very valid point.
But do tick next to assume shape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also,
yeah.
every single one of your ticks from this entire dream sequence will be valid.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let all of you know. All right, so you have assumed the shape of a large gemstone of your choosing, and you are now in the hands of Bob, who is going to meander this into the center of the camp. Now, two things. Firstly, what gemstone are you?
Sapphire, big old like the
Okay.
oval.
Secondly, I need you to like just kind of tell me when you're going to thunder. Uh, Bob has walked into the camp and is approaching, and you're far enough away that you can't hear this conversation yet again because I don't want to have to do all their voices. But you can hear Bob talking to their compatriots, basically being like, "Oh, look at this gem that I found." And one of them like snatches the gem from Bob. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can we retcon enough to say you got punched? If they as soon as they take the gemstone, you need to like back up, try to look natural, but like back up as fast as you can because of this spell. Like, would that make sense for a conversation that we'd had with Bob? I like it, duck and cover though. That makes more sense than trying to get away. Just yeah,
Yeah, just
get
duck
out
and
of the
cover.
punt. Yeah, duck and cover.
All right, so go ahead and try to cast Thunder.
Roll a 6, and it's a skill of 7.
Ooh.
Excellent. So a just blisteringly loud peal of thunder breaks out across this clearing. You've also like just a heads up, you're all ahead of schedule on this round. They did not manage to even fell one of these giant mushrooms this time because if you remember last
Nice.
time, it actually took you a while to get to the camp. This time it's been really quick. And so this peal of thunder rings out across this camp. The three of them drop just painfully, like howling and grabbing at their ears because they're in a ton of pain right now. And how do the two of you react? Because one of you is a fancy cape.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're down a Vigor. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna pop up. I can just undo the spell whenever I want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't done that before, I don't think. Okay, Thunder 2. And word to the wise, folks, write down the stamina cost when you write your spells down so that you don't have to do what I just did and search. Um,
Also, when you say undo, do you mean like end? Because undo is technically a different spell.
Yeah.
no. I meant. Oh yeah. No, I just mean end the current.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Cancel early.
Right.
Truncate.
Hey,
So yeah,
too
you can
late for
just
that.
pop up, and you are right in the middle of this. You are in the mix.
All right, I'm gonna do brittle twigs on whoever's closest and looks the biggest.
Hit it.
All right, I snatch a twig out of my pocket and I
Waiting.
attempt to break it, and I am trying to find the spell cost for that one because I don't know how to play this game. There it is, 2.
83.
Okay. Yeah, I did again. Yes, I got a 5. I rolled a 5, and it's a 6. I'm
Awesome.
quickly killing myself on spells, but hey, here
That's
we
fine.
are.
So you did brittle twigs. Do me a favor. What does brittle twigs do?
You break a twig, and it breaks something about the person.
What are you trying to break about this person?
I think a femur, because we're not trying to kill him, but I definitely don't want him to be wanting to jump around.
Go real meta. Their spirit.
Yes, it's well,
Yeah,
it's some
that's
well, it's a broken bone specifically is what it says.
I'm just
So
like,
yeah,
you're
for
exactly
anyone
as you were when you were a child.
Yeah.
anyone
So
listening
they
at home who doesn't have it, it's you snap a twig or other brittle object to cause an injury, and another they must test their luck or skill for enemies or suffer a broken bone. Actual.
Go for enemies. So
yeah. So they just tested their skill. They did not pass, so they
okay.
have a broken femur. Um, and so they are now howling even more in excruciating pain. As a broken femur is one of the more painful breaks that you can experience. Their compatriots are also howling. And Pith, what are you doing? You see this just absolute madness.
So what? There's 3 of them in front of me, right? That are all howling in pain, broken femurs.
Yes.
No,
One of them
just the
looks
one
like
broken.
they're in considerably more pain than the other 2.
So all of them are like hands over ears, bleeding from the ears because of the thunderclap, and then one of them has a broken femur. The biggest one has a broken femur.
So I want to go over to the next largest that does not have a broken femur. Pull my whip out, and I'm gonna try to hog tie them
Okay,
while they
cool.
are pain.
Just test your skill for that.
Double 6.
That's a fail, right?
Automatic failure. I cannot hog tie him. He's able to. Perhaps I'm in too much pain to be able to effectively really wield my whip.
I was gonna say, Vigor, you like trying to like slug crawl your way down the hill. You're like, girl.
Yeah, I'm assuming that I was left
Absolutely.
in our little camp. And so having
Oh, yeah.
having a fierce, battle-hardened spirit, I seek battle where I can find it, and the glory to be held there. And so with all of my might, strength, and determination, I squibble forward.
The book describes it as oozing.
Mm.
I
Um,
ooze.
No,
Like
you're
a
welcome to
fierce
use the term
glacier.
squibbling, but I'm just saying, like, oozing implies a very heavy viscosity and a slow,
Mhm.
like, treacle-like movement.
Sluggish.
Thankfully, this is downhill, and you're not trying to go uphill, which would be imperceptible movement. So you're
And that's
able to
classic battle
actually, like,
tactics.
yeah, you're able to
Charge from
actually
uphill.
move a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen and studied the art of the slake. I know how to, ooh,
Yeah.
and I'm
Sure.
gaining momentum. I've gone from maybe a weak ooze to,
Strong
sluggish.
ooze. It's a
Yeah.
strong. Yeah, yeah. You're up
Strong
to sluggish.
ooze.
Absolutely. So you're oozing down. I will say this. Pith and Nimbus, each of you have one more attempt to get this situation under control before initiative time happens, and this turns into something like real. I assume both of you are moving very quickly, which is why I'm giving you another attempt. I don't think that you are moving at the pace of Vigor at this moment.
Can't keep up.
So Nimbus, you have brittle twigged this one. So
Mhm.
there are 2 creatures here, 2 ruffians that need to be dealt with because the one is just not going anywhere. All right, so Pith is trying to deal with one. They haven't been able to get that yet. And so what are you doing?
I think I probably am going to have grabbed up some rope, and like this. I don't think the plan really hinges because the effects of thunderclap last for how long? 20 minutes or something like that?
No, it's just like a one and done thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to do a great job, but I'm definitely trying to tie the other 2 like together back to back. I basically lassoed one and I'm trying to just twist him up with rope.
Okay, with what rope?
The rope in that you said was all over the camp.
Okay, so
So
like
like
you like
grab some
ran
rope
over and grabbed the
yeah.
rope. Okay.
Mhm.
Just double checking really quick.
Yeah.
So which two are you trying to lasso together? Yours and Pith's, or yours and the broken femored one?
It's great.
Mine and the broken femored one.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and test skill just to see if, just give us a benchmark if you're doing that.
Okay, I'm gonna do strength because I've got 6. Can I do that, or is that not?
Oh, you're asking. Yeah, you can do
yeah.
strength.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a strengthy thing to do.
No, I do
No.
not.
All right. So while you're not doing that, Pith, what are you trying to do?
So Pith is having a pretty rough time. From like a, remove, like not directly in like visible action on a camera screen kind of a deal. It's like Pith specifically has obviously already lost Quith. Pith feels responsible for the fact that one of his companions is not really in super effective fighting shape right now.
Right.
Doesn't even have
Sorry,
bones.
Nimby.
Like in general, the things he's supposed to be good at, he continues to fail at, like etiquette and respecting boundaries. That's what his memory is telling me he's supposed to be good at this point, but obviously he has not actually spent most of his life practicing those principles. So not always landing on the money. And to be honest, the last time that Pith was in a situation like this was also, or like has heard tale of a situation like this, was with his own homeworld. So I feel like Pitt's hitting like a real wall and a real point of being done with this, and the fact that he can't even manhandle this whip that is so reminiscent to the tongue he once lashed about as a cute little frog. He attempts to usher forth a bit of magic, and I'm going to attempt to cast Shatter. I place 2 hands on the head of this person as I shove them back down to the ground, and having a quick thought back to all the words of Vigor's that Pith has heard in their travels. He thinks maybe, I come from a place of balance. Maybe I haven't been chaotic enough. And I'm going to attempt to cast a little bit.
I like it.
All right, so I got a 6.
Okay.
I only have a skill of 5 though, so unfortunately, it does not go off. Instead, it just looks like I'm attempting to bash this man down onto the ground, and then I start
Vulcan mind meld.
Yeah, I start bleeding. Real human
Right.
voodoo doll situation.
All right. So we are going to break into initiative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first up is one of these ruffians. They're still looking a little bit shook, but they're definitely, they're not thrilled about what's going on. And so the one ruffian that that you have been dealing with, Pith, the one that you just like kind of bashed down, is just gonna try to take a swing at you. They don't have their weapons. They weren't like armed going up to Bob. So they're just trying to swing at you and get you off of them right now. So let's roll versus.
Okay, so I rolled a 6, and I have a advanced skill of 9.
Right. Yeah.
So that
No,
brings me
you're.
to 15.
Yeah.
I smash his hand out of the way with the base of my whip.
So you do 1 damage.
I like the idea of Pith fighting because the 4 arms, like you have a whip in one arm, I imagine your top right, but then your other 4 arms, as like someone swings punches at you, you can use like 2 or 3 arms to swat their blows away while you like crack them with a whip.
Yeah. I flip
Yeah.
her a bit, as I'm doing it. Whacking their hands out of the way.
Absolutely. So the other one is going after you, Nimbus. So they're just also trying to slug you one right in the face. So if you would like to roll versus, you are probably gonna win. I got a 9
Okay.
total.
I got a
Oh, yeah.
14.
One of these weeks, someone will remember how to
Hashtag
do
rules.
combat.
Then he's the RPG baby. Still
I caught it.
Yeah, so roll 1d6 for damage. I assume you're like as unarmed right now.
Yeah, but I am wearing my worm mitts, which is +2 to unarmed.
Oh yeah.
That's
Ooh.
+2 to your roll, so you actually got more on your roll. You also deal 1 damage. All right, next up
Squibble
is
it.
Pith.
Okay. So
I
my
quit.
spell did not work again. Pith, I guess, attempts to make one more hog tying effort.
All right, you will be rolling versus.
Yeah, I want to try to smash him down and kind of like pin him with 2 of my arms and try to use the other 2 to wrap some
Okay.
hands. I got a 4 plus a 9.
So you got a
So-
13.
13.
All right, I got a 12. So
Nice.
your attack is successful. Fine, you hogtie them. Oh, it's the one with the broken femur's turn.
Oh.
They are lying on the ground squirming and in a lot of pain, and they don't get to do anything. It's Nimbus's turn now.
Okay. I almost just said I punched the one on the ground, but I'm not gonna do that. The one that attacks me, I guess I'm going to. Gosh, I'm really not batting with a lot of. I'm gonna do brittle twigs. I think I've got another twig in my pocket. Can we say I've got another twig in my pocket?
Sure.
I like
I'm
to
gonna
think the
break the
first branch
femur.
just broke into smaller pieces, and you're like, "Oh my god, there's
Right.
another one in here."
Yeah, it's little though. I gotta like.
I assume you just always keep a handful of twigs in your pocket.
Yeah, Vigor was helping me find them several episodes ago, so I might have a pocket
That's
full.
true.
You're stocking up. Yeah.
Okay.
Never
All right,
know,
I'm gonna
roll
roll-
to build a bird
2d6.
nest.
Add skill and advanced skill. Yeah.
Okay, well then it's 13.
I
But I
got
rolled
a
under.
13. So do you want to
Ooh.
test luck to break the tie in your favor?
Yeah, I guess.
Use
You're
that luck.
so upset about that.
Come on. I just have not been rolling. Oh gosh, I have not been rolling well. Rolled an 8 out of 10.
Okay. So you
I
are
do have
able to
10
break
luck.
the tie in your favor, and
Also his femur.
okay, I have to
Again.
test skill to see if that happens. Yeah, no, that happens. So
Little femur cleaver over here. I like it.
so you've effectively taken care of them.
I
Now
don't think they have to be tied up.
I mean, you make your own decisions. You would assume. So last time things didn't get nearly this loud. Like they have been screaming, and so there's every chance that somebody is coming back to this camp soon to investigate. Like one of their companions or another group of people. So you're all going to have to figure out what's happening pretty quickly. But I feel like we should just go ahead and do that next session
Okay.
because I kind of like leaving it on this cliffhanger. Yes.
All right.
Yes. And
A
that
lot of
means
broken
I've-
bones.
Yeah, we got a lot
There's
of
too
broken
many-
femurs happening.
Broken femurs. I don't like it.
Some people would be grateful to have a broken bone.
Some people would be grateful to
don't
have bones.
bone. Yes. You see?
Please stop reminding us that you're still a gelatinous blob.
In my head, while people were like rolling and calculating stuff, I had this. It would like flip back to Vigor, and he would be like racing down the hill, and there would be like that triumphant music when it would go from his perspective, and he'd be like, da, 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 and he's like, but then it like pans out, and he's just like slowly oozing across the screen. But eventually, there's like a slug that like he crosses a path with, and then he looks over, and these like beady little eyes look back at him, and then they're slowly like racing each other, and it's really intense.
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to make that into a short film.
Please do.
Please do.
Quick
So
tip,
let's hear
short.
what everybody's inspiration is this week. And who wants to start?
I have mine prepped.
Do it.
All right, so there's this guy. I know this YouTube series called the Animated Spellbook. The the guy's account is Z Bashew, so Zeebashew. But he has a series called the Animated Spellbook, and he basically animates and explains the 5e spells, and they're
Yeah.
the artwork is really charming. And then he'll tell you useful little things, or maybe he'll have an anecdote of how it was used. But they're really nice, and he's really good at narration. The video I saw most recently was a kind of like a joke video about how all dice have different personalities, and so he like goes and describes like, oh, you can tell it's a dud dice because X or Z, or oh, this is a slow burner dice. You get all the bad rolls out first, and it'll slowly get better and better over time. And he has a cute little video like that. But it
That's
was really
awesome.
nice. Yeah, great.
That's very wholesome. I actually really like that. Who wants to go next?
I'm happy to. So this
Do it.
week I want to plug, and I don't think I have already. If I have those at home, obviously I just love it. So I don't know. Sorry. But so I want to plug specifically Trillium. It is a graphic novel by Jeff Lemire. Who's the same person who did, if anyone's been watching on Netflix, they just released the first season of Sweet Tooth. He's the creator of the comic book that was like based on. Obviously, the comic book is a lot darker. Heads up if you've only been watching the Netflix show. I started with that and then watched the show. The show is definitely a little bit more cheerful. Absolutely amazing though. Would recommend checking that out as well. But Trillium specifically, I love. It's all in basically one volume. Very easily readable. I want to say it was originally like under 10 issues or around 10 issues. So it's not incredibly long. Fully told story. Basic idea behind it is like a love story that takes place across space and time. I don't want to say any more than that really, but it does have a bit of a sci-fi vibe, and simultaneously some stuff kind of happens in more of like the exploring South America as like a pioneer back in like the couple hundred years ago, whatever kind of times. So there's a little bit of both of that. It's a really interesting contrast. It's I haven't seen anything else really like it. The story is phenomenal, just like a lot of his other work. I mean, if you've read Underwater Welder, it's also really great. Anything by Jeff Lemire really is great, but I would suggest starting with Trillium for anyone at home. And I feel like it does kind of fit that space vibe that we've been doing here with Troika. So I've been revisiting that since Sweet Tooth dropped on Netflix. If you are interested in checking out Jeff Lemire's stuff, like just his general art style, you can find him on Instagram at Jeff Lemire, so JEFFLEMIRE. His Twitter is his name as well. And he also has a blog spot, so his name.blogspot.com, where he drops all of his like updates for new comics, new projects he's working on. So all those really great resources. Follow him; he's amazing, and I feel like he's one of the ones that re-sparked my joy in graphic novels in the first place. So
Nice.
check him out.
Nice.
I love him.
Hell yes. Jacob.
My inspiration is probably going into the woods next week for 3
Nature.
days. I'm going to take a 3-day reset. Probably a sort of a primitive situation thing. So I guess my inspiration
Aw.
should be my wife, Katie, for letting me do that and watching the kids for 3 days while I go
Aw.
find myself.
That's so
That
sweet.
was
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Aw.
I'd probably die
So,
without the internet, but good
well, that's
for
kind
you.
of like the idea is to not,
Yeah.
Unplugged.
to
Refresh.
find
Yeah.
out that
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so jealous of that. I'm so
That's nice.
jealous. My inspiration is I don't think I've actually done this. The Mass Effect trilogy, the original one.
That's a good one.
I'm in love with it. Like it's one of the strongest video game trilogies out there. Like the story's great. It's super engaging. It's interesting. They do a thing that most video games lack, and it's like just enough like side stuff to like not feel like they're cramping you into one like super railroady path. But also like giving the side things weight. Like everything that you do in those games, every tiny little side quest has an opportunity to affect a larger whole, and I love that. That being said, if you're into really good stories, you might want to check it out because they just did the remastered trilogy, and it's phenomenal. And even if you don't play a ton of video games, you're every chance says you're gonna enjoy it. But yeah, so that's all of our inspirations. I think we're gonna call it for this week. You're all lovely. Thank you for stopping by. Anybody else have goodbyes to say?
We love you.
I
Sayonara.
Later, nerds.